Okay, the Action Bible. I kind of grew up on comics when I was a kid. I was obsessed with DC, Superman, Batman. I read a little bit of Marvel, Spider-Man, and Thor, things like that. Yeah, but I was more of the DC guy. That was where I was at. Okay, this is about the life of Jesus. Okay, and of course we don't know what he looks like. Nobody really described him in the New Testament. They said he kind of fit in. He looked like everybody else. He didn't really stand out. So since he was Jewish, at least on his mother's side, I suppose he probably had darker hair. Maybe had a bit of a curl to it. Um, Probably had brown eyes. I would, if he'd had blue eyes, that would have really stuck out. They would have noticed that there. Um, and I don't think he dressed quite as nicely as the pictures because came from a poorer family. Carpenter probably would have had a little dirt on his clothes. Like I said, he would have stuck. Would have fit right in with everybody else. The guy over here on this side, that's I think a picture of John the Baptist, and I don't know if he looked that wild. I always picture him as being kind of old, but actually John the Baptist was just a few months older than Jesus. So yeah, I don't. He looks young in the picture too. So we'll see how it goes here. This is called The Life of Jesus. It's based on Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Though many people witnessed the life and miracles of Jesus, only 4 wrote authentic stories about his time on earth. Those men's writings make up the first 4 books of the New Testament, called Gospels because they share the good news of Jesus Christ. Each book is slightly different, but together they tell one complete story of Jesus' life on earth. When in Rome is the title of this one. It's based on Matthew 5:41. The mighty Roman Empire rules Palestine, the home of God's people, the Jews. The Romans have appointed Herod to govern Palestine for them. Herod is clever, but he's also cruel. The Jews hate him and the Roman officials who work for him. And here's the pictures over here on this side. Okay. Here, old man, carry this for me. That chest is too heavy for that old man to carry. He might have a heart attack. The Romans don't care. Hours later, the old man reaches home. Grandfather, what's the matter? A Roman soldier made him carry a heavy chest to Herod's palace. But why? It's the law. A Roman soldier can make a Jew carry his luggage for a mile if he asks. It isn't right, but the Romans don't care. I wonder how they measured the mile. Maybe in minutes, huh? The Romans, they tax us for everything, and we have no voice in government. When will this end? Back in the days of the great King David, we were the rulers of the land. Shh, someone might hear you. God, you promised us to send us a deliverer. When will he come? When? The prophet Malachi said God would first send someone to prepare us for the deliverer. That person has not come yet. We must wait. Angel promises. You guys remember this one? This is based on Luke 1:5 through 56. As Jews in Jerusalem gather in the temple for prayer, an old priest named Zechariah enters the holy place to make an offering of incense. This is the greatest day of my life. After all these years, it's finally my turn to offer incense on God's holy altar. But Zechariah stays so long in the holy place that the priests begin to wonder, why is Zechariah staying so long? I hope he hasn't died in there. No one else is allowed in the holy place. Meanwhile, the fearsome angel Gabriel has appeared to Zechariah in the temple. Do not be afraid. You and Elizabeth will have a son. God will make him mighty and filled with the Spirit. His name will be John, and he will prepare the people for God's deliverer. But we're too old to have a baby. Because you don't believe, you will not be able to talk until the baby is born. I always thought the angel was a little bit severe here, I think I would have been in worse shape. Okay. At last, Zechariah comes out and faces the people, but he cannot speak. No words come from his mouth. What happened in the holy place of God? Zechariah, what's wrong? Why don't you speak to me? Zechariah cannot tell Elizabeth what happened. So he writes down everything the angel told him. I wonder if she believed him at first. Yeah. Okay, we'll catch up the next one and find out if she believed him in the next part, okay? Here, I'll give you a quick view of the pictures. There you go. There you go. All right, there you go. Fill in your own blanks.